Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Arma 3 video. This is the second part of scripting a custom vehicle shop for your mission. On the last video, we were creating the menu for the shop and we were managed to make the menu appear just by clicking the action menu. Now it's time to make the menu functional. First, we need to get all the controls IDC. Instead of remembering all of the IDC one by one, we're going to store all of the IDC inside a variable. I'm storing all of my dialogue related variables inside a single file, in a dialog vars.sqf. I will only storing important elements like list box, buttons, and any text that will be changing in game like price and money. Next, we need a way to get what vehicle player clicked from our list box. I've already created a function for this. This function is basically the same as lb cursel command. With this line of code, I don't need to worry what happens if player clicked purchase button without choosing a vehicle first, as the script make player automatically choose the first vehicle by default. We also need a way to populate our list box with vehicles. We will create a function for this. Let's call it update list box, because the function will be executed if we need to update our list box. And don't forget to define your function inside function.hpp. I'm going to copy my existing function and edit it as needed. Since we're updating our list box, we need to clear our list box, just in case old items does exist. To make this function universal, I will add a second parameter, item. This means that this function is not specific to update vehicles only. It can be used to add other things inside our list box. Then, we will fill our list box with specified items by using a for each loops. I will delete everything else because we don't need those for our function. Inside addVehicleShop.sqf, I will add items as a second element to my function call. For now, I will create a private variable called items. Inside configure-shop.sqf, I will create a few arrays consisting of vehicles available in our shops. I will create a separate array for each side, because I wanted to have a different shop that sells different vehicle. Using AI, I will populate one of these arrays with another list of arrays. The arrays holds the data for each vehicle like class name, display name, and price. In order to make all items to load before the mission start, I will move all of the arrays to initshop.sqf. I'm adding a second parameter, owner, to our addVehicleShop function. Inside initshop.sqf, I put a variable, side, as the second parameter of the addVehicleShop function. Back into addVehicleShop function. Using setVariable command, I make the shop object to store a variable, owner, which the code picks up from the second parameters of the function. Then inside the second parameters of addAction command, I created another private variable, owner. From here, I use getVariable command to get the side of the target and put it inside owner variable. Target is the object which the action is assigned to. In our cases, the shop object. For items variable, the value will be depending on the side of the shop itself. If the owner's side is west, it will get its value from blue for vehicle list array, and vice versa. If you remember from earlier, each of our vehicles on shop has their own data like class name, display name, and price. We will need a way to access these data. I will create three variables, item class, item name, and item price. Then I get the value from items variable, by using select command. Let's try our code.
This is not a drill, it's a warning.
No errors so far. Good news.
Move 200 right. Back.
Now let's teleport to our shop and try our code. Oh no. Only 2 items appeared. This seems to be error on the code, as the shown items is the same vehicle. One is the class name and another one is the display name. Let's fix this. I made a mistake, as the items variable stores all of the items from our list of vehicles. So item select 0 will return the first vehicle instead of the first data of the vehicle. Let's fix that by using for each loops to iterate through all of the vehicles first, then accessing its data from there. Smash my head. I created a private array variable called item name list, which stores all of the vehicle's display name. I'm using the for each loops to populate the array. Another mistake down here. Let's try our code again.
Move 300 meters. Move 300 meters. 300 meters. Front.
Now all of the vehicles shown properly. Next, we need a way to access the class name, to spawn the vehicle, and a way to access the price too. The method should be the same as accessing the vehicle display name. Just to be safe, I think it's better to use for loops instead of for each loops. Since I'm using for loops, there's an extra variables I need to create in order for the for loops to iterate properly. Now I wanted to make the price text to change every time player clicked a vehicle from the list box. I'll create a new function for this. Let's call it update vehicle price. This function will be responsible to get what vehicle player clicked from the list box, then get the vehicle price and update the text accordingly. I need to define the created function inside functions.hpp, so the game can recognize the function. Before scripting the function, I need to call the function first before I forget about it. In order for the function to know which vehicle player clicked first, the function should get the information from the list box itself. I'll pass our list box here as the first parameter of our function, so our function can access it later. I'll copy this line here, because this line will be needed inside our function, for it to get player input. Inside our function, I need to make the function to accept a parameter, list box. Then the function should get player input from the list box. I'll paste the line of codes I copied earlier. Instead of specific list box, let's change it to our past list box from the function parameter. For this global variable here, I'll change it to local variable, and named it to something we can understand. Since we need to update the price text all the time, we will put these lines of code here inside a while loops. And don't forget to add sleep command, because we don't want the code to spam every frame. I'll use a global variable here, so that the next time I want to change it, I won't have to scroll through all of my codes one by one. I put the global variable, shop update interval, inside configure shop.sqf. This file holds all of variables that player or user can change according to their needs. Instead of declaring the variable selection inside the while loops, I'll declare it outside and assign a default value -1 to it. I'll put this price text variable here for now. I'll put these lines of code here outside of the while loops because I want the function to get user input once, right after the function executed. And make it to get player input all the time, but without defaulting the inputs to the first element. Now we need to store our price string inside a variable. You can choose not to, and directly apply the text, but I prefer to store it inside a variable, so it won't trouble me in the future, in case I have bugs in my code. Next, I'm gonna pass our price list array into the second element of our function. Then edit our function to accept another parameter, an array. Using control-set text command, I will make our price text to show the value of the variable, price string. The value of the price string should be changing based on selected vehicle. Since we already store the index of the selected element from the shop into variable selection, we will use the variable to access our price list array. A way to achieve that is by using select. Based on price array, select the element of index, selection, then store the value of the price inside price string. And don't forget to convert the value to string by using str command. I'll create another variable string prefix, which will be shown alongside our price. You can skip this part, or put the prefix inside the variable price string. But I prefer to do it this way instead. Now let's test our code.
Pray for your soul like it's all I need. A breath of fresh air full of you and me. I want to make it clear. What are we doing here?
Since I set the refresh interval to 30, that's mean we have to wait for 30 seconds until the price changes. What am I thinking? Lol. Let's fix this. 0.1 should be fine. Let's try our code again. Teleport. I have no time to walk. Now that's better. That's all guys. I'm gonna wrap our part 2 of making a vehicle shop in Arma 3. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In the part 3, which is the final part, I will make the money text to change according to player cash. Then I will cover up how I make the script to deduct the player's money. Lastly, we will make sure our shop does spawn player purchased vehicle.